Hi guys, welcome to part 22 of Practice Your ROR Cards with me. ROR are the rules of the road cards which are often shown to mariners or deck officers who go for their oral examination. So it's important that you guys practice these cards, identify the vessels and the action to be taken along with the day signal and the fog signal. The link to the previous 21 videos are in the description section below, so please make sure you watch those videos as well. Each of these videos contain a different set of cards, so practice all of them, and the more you practice the better you become in them. So the first card today here is just a red over white light. This, whenever you see a red over white light in a vertical line, this indicates it's a fishing vessel other than a trawler, and this vessel could be underway but stopped. Why? Because you don't see any other side lights or masthead lights or stern light or anything like that. Or this could be a vessel, fishing vessel at anchor, gear of which is extending 150 meters or less. So if it was 150 meters or more, there would be another white light in the direction of the gear, so it's not there, and that's pretty much it. Alright, so red over white is a fishing vessel. Do not confuse it with a pilot vessel which has white over red. When you see this vessel, sound one shot blast alter course to starboard. The day signal for this vessel is two cones with apexes together in the vertical line, because that indicates a fishing vessel other than trawler. If the gear was extending more than 150 meters, you would have an additional cone in the direction of the gear. It's not the case here, so no point talking about that. The fog signal that this vessel will sound is one prolonged followed by two short blast. The next vessel here is a power driven vessel towing. Now if you look at this card, you might get confused with whether this is a normal power driven vessel or this is a power driven vessel towing. Now you should not get confused. If it was a normal power driven vessel, it would have only two white lights separated at a distance. But here you can see there are two white lights in a vertical line, and then there is another white light which is separated at a distance. So this basically indicates this is a power driven vessel which is engaged in towing operation, and the length of the towing vessel is probably 50 meters or more, because of which you have an additional white light. Or it could be a vessel or more, or it underway with a tow less than 200 meters, because if the tow was also more than 200 meters, then there would be an additional white light. You can see that it's underway because you can see the side light, and you know this is the port side because you see the red side light. When you see this vessel, sound one shot blast alter course to starboard, because you are the giveaway vessel in this case, and this is the, you are seeing the port side of this vessel, so this is the stand-on vessel. Now because this vessel is not restricted in ability to maneuver, so the normal steering and sailing rules are applying. So you short blast alter course to starboard past stern of the vessel. This vessel will have no day signal. If the tow was more than 200 meters, then it would have a day signal of a diamond shape, but that's not the case. The fog signal for this vessel would be one prolonged followed by two short blast. Then this vessel is a restricted in ability to maneuver vessel, or it's a dredger without obstruction. It's probably 50 meters or more, because you see there are two masthead lights. So there's a white light and there is another white light separated at a distance. So that means the length of the vessel is more than 50 meters. The vessel is restricted in ability to maneuver because you can see the red, white, red in a vertical line. It's making way seen from the port side, because you can see the port side light, the red light at the bottom of the card is the side light. When you see this vessel sound one shot blast alter course to starboard, this is anyway a restricted ability to maneuver, so you pretty much have to take action. And anyway, you see the port side light, you can alter course to starboard and pass turn of it, treat it like a stand-on vessel. Because this vessel is restricted in ability to maneuver, she will display a ball, diamond, ball in a vertical line, and the fog signal for this vessel would be one prolonged followed by two short blast. Now you have a red over white light in a vertical line, so which tells you this is a fishing vessel other than a trawler. It's making way. Why? Because you can see the stern light, which is the bottommost white light, is the stern light. The white light in the middle is the white light that indicates that the gear is extending more than 150 meters. When you see this vessel sound one shot blast alter course to starboard. Now whenever I see this action, I find it a bit confusing, because in some cards they say port, some they starboard. Now let me tell you this here. When you see the gear is extending, whichever direction the gear is extending alter course in the opposite direction. Now I know by practices of seamanship altering course to starboard is a little bit frowned upon, but if you have sufficient sea room and required, you alter course to port to avoid the fishing gear. That's what I'm talking about. Now here of course the fishing gear is extending on the port side, so you will sound a short blast and alter course to starboard. But in many cards you will see sometimes they refer and the alteration to port as well. But my recommendation is always alter course to either starboard, or you alter course in a direction opposite to there where the gear is extending. Now because this is a fishing vessel, it will display two cones with apexes together in vertical line and a cone with apex upwards in the direction of the gear. It will have a fog signal of 1 prolonged followed by 2 short blast. The next card has 3 lights, white lights in a vertical line. This is power driven vessel towing, probably 50 meters or more underway. Why 50 meters or more? Because you can see there is an additional masthead light. The tow also exceeds 200 meters because there is another masthead light. So if you can count the white lights, there are about 4 white lights. So you will have, if it is towing, you will have 2 white lights in a vertical line. If it is more than 50 meters, you will have 3 white lights. And if the tow also exceeds 200 meters, you will have 4 white lights, which is the case here. Now because you are seeing the side light, you know this is underway. And because you are seeing the green side light, you know that this is the starboard side of the vessel. Now when you see this vessel, you will maintain your course and speed because you become the stand-on vessel. Why? Because this vessel is not restricted in her ability to maneuver. That means she can take action. So if you are seeing the starboard aspect of this vessel becomes the giveaway vessel and you become the stand-on vessel. The day signal shown by this vessel is 1 diamond because the tow here is exceeding 200 meters. And the fog signal for this vessel will be 1 prolonged 2 short blast. The next card here you have green over white, which indicates this is a trawler. Now because there is no additional white light or masthead light, the trawler is less than 50 meters and it's making way. Why is it making way? Because you can see the port side light. The red light on the right hand corner is the port side light. Now the white over red in a vertical line, this is not a pilot vessel. This is basically indicating it's hauling nets. Okay, so when a fishing vessel when it's a trawler and you have white over red with the trawler lights, then you know this is hauling nets. If you see this vessel, sound 1 short blast, alter course to starboard, pass stern of the vessel. Because it's hauling nets, this vessel will display a flag Golf, which is flag G as per International Code of Signals, and it will also show 2 cones with apexes together in a vertical line, which is the day signal for a fishing vessel or a trawler. The fog signal on this vessel is 1 prolonged blast followed by 2 short blast. Now the next card is red over white. This is a fishing vessel other than a trawler, and this is using purse seine gear. How do I know this is using purse seine gear? You see the 2 yellow lights flashing. That is an indication of the purse seine gear. The white light is indicating that the purse seine gear is extending more than 150 meters. Now I know it's making way and seen from end on because I see both the side lights. The green and the red light are the side lights at the bottom of the card. When you see this vessel heading end on to you, it means it's on almost a reciprocal course. It's on head-on collision course. You will sound 1 short blast, alter your course to starboard to stay clear of this vessel. This vessel will display 2 cones with apexes together in a vertical line, which is the day signal for a fishing vessel as well as a trawler. It will also show a cone with apex upwards in the direction of the gear because here the gear is extending more than 150 meters. The fog signal for this vessel will be 1 prolonged blast followed by 2 short blasts. Now you see a card where you see 3 red lights in a vertical line, which indicates this is a vessel constrained by her draft. And it's less than 50 meters because you see only 1 masthead light. It's underway and seen end on because you see both the side lights, green and red, and it's on a reciprocal course with you. It's on a head-on collision course with you probably. So when you see this vessel, sound 1 short blast, alter course to starboard. With due practices of seamanship, stay clear, make a bold alteration. This vessel, because it's constrained by draft, will show a cylinder during the day signal, and its fog signal is 1 prolonged blast followed by 2 short blast. Now this vessel is showing 3 white lights in a vertical line and a white light separated away from it. So I have told you before, if there are 2 white lights in a vertical line, that's a power driven vessel towing. When you see 3 white lights in a vertical line, that means it's more than 50 meters. And when you see 4 white lights on the card, you know that in this case, not only is the towing vessel more than 50 meters, but the length of the tow also exceeds 200 meters. It's underway because you can see the side lights, and you can see the port side light because you see the red light. When you see this vessel, sound one shot blast, alter course to starboard, treat it like a stand-on vessel. Although it's not restricted in ability to maneuver, treat it like a stand-on vessel because you see the port side light, alter course to starboard past the stern of this vessel. Now this vessel will display one diamond because the length of the tow here exceeds 200 meters. Otherwise it would have no day signal. The fog signal for this vessel is one prolonged blast followed by two short blasts.